Hey there, it's Stephanie from SixFiguresUnder.com, where I share frugal inspiration and financial motivation. Today I'm excited to talk to you about how to increase your income while you're paying off debt. For those of you who don't know our background story, my husband and I paid off $144,000 of student loan debt between 2013 and 2016. Now, as a blogger, I get lots of emails from readers who are in similar situations, who also have a family, who are paying off medical school debt or law school debt or some big debt. And they can relate to me, and they are inspired and encouraged that we were able to pay off that much debt that fast while I was still staying at home with our kids. Now, if you're just getting started, paying off debt, setting a goal, making a plan, I put together a free resource for you that I will share at the end of the video. So stay tuned and I'll explain all about that. Looking at our income now, we still make our finances public, share our budget report, our income and expenses every month on this channel and also on my blog. So if you look at our income now, you might think, oh, paying off that much debt that fast isn't that big of a deal. But in reality, at the time we set the goal, we were making $40,000 a year before taxes. We had 3 little kids. It was a struggle. We made sacrifices, but over that time our income increased. Increasing our income was a huge part of our debt payoff. Let me show you this graph here. The blue bars represent our income throughout our debt payoff time. You can see at the beginning where it was and at the end. So I shared this graph with my readers when we finished our payoff. I put this in the post, and everyone was wondering, how did you increase your income so much over that time? And so those are the things that I want to share with you today, the tried and true ways that we increased our income so that we could pay off 6 figures of debt. I'm going to throw in a couple of other examples of things that you can do to increase your income in a real significant way. Hold up though, before we talk about increasing income, I want to touch on spending and budgeting. Focusing on increasing your income before your spending is in check and your budget is made is like blowing up a balloon with a hole in it or filling up a bucket with a leak. If you're trying to increase your income right now and don't have a budget that works, all that extra income is not going to be funneled towards your debt. It's going to go all over the place and you're not going to know what happened to it. To make the most of this new income, you need to make sure you've reduced your expenses and you're budgeting and being intentional with all of your money. If you need help with this, you should check out my book, Frugal Fresh Start, a 28-day challenge to trim your expenses, build a budget, and fix your finances. You can get the paperback version on Amazon, or I'll leave a link in the description to where you can get the PDF, and if you use the coupon code YouTube, you can get it for just $5. Okay, with your budget in order, here are some tried and true ways to increase your income. Now, the first one is to sell stuff. I know that's not a novel idea, but it's simple. It's something everyone can do. You can start now, and it works. Not only will you make money, but you'll also declutter your home. You will get some momentum to paying off your debt. Be sure to take clear pictures, write an honest, detailed description of your item, and you can post it on Facebook in the buy, sell, trade groups, or some things are better on eBay or Amazon. There are loads of videos and blog tutorials, so you can search that and find great ways, great tips on that. That's the way we started when we first started paying off debt. I sold clothes, furniture, kids stuff, all sorts of things that we had that we don't miss, and we used that income to start paying off our debt. Now, this isn't a long-term solution to increasing your income for most people, though some people really like thrifting and yard saling and end up making a business out of it. The second way to increase your income to help pay off debt is to start a business. Now, I'll focus a little bit more on this because this one was major for us. Both my husband and I started businesses during our debt payoff time. I actually started my first business before we went to pay off our debt. About the time my husband started law school, I started an Etsy shop where I sold cupcake toppers and birthday banners, baby shower banners, that sort of thing. And that is what paid for our groceries during law school, which prevented us from getting into more debt. I only stopped doing Etsy when my blog started really taking off and earned more money with less effort and on my own schedule. That's why I decided to stick with the blog. I did not have enough hours to do both. In 2013, when we started paying off our student loans, I started a blog to chronicle our journey of paying off debt. Each month I share our income, our expenses, how much we paid off in debt, and what we saved. I also share budgeting and frugal living tips. And after having read blogs for years, I knew that if I did it well and did it right, that I could make an income from it. And that's what happened. In the description, I'll leave some links to some great blogging resources if you're interested in doing something like that too. Right out of law school, my husband started working at a small firm where he made a small, for a lawyer, salary, then changed to making a small commission off of his work instead of the salary, and eventually he ended up changing jobs, which I'll talk about in a minute. When he changed jobs to practicing a completely different, unrelated type of law, his clients didn't want him to leave. He ended up starting a part-time law firm so he could continue to take care of those clients. When he left his firm and went to work for the state, he kept his clients that he had before and continues to do work for them and has got new clients, and his business really started growing. We've really had to keep it an on-the-side business. So for us, starting our own businesses has been a great way to increase our income for paying off debt. Now, what does that mean for you? What are your talents, your skills, things you're passionate about? What could you turn into a business? The sky is the limit. There are so many things you can do, products and services that you could provide to increase your income. It's not easy. It takes work. You have to invest time and heart and even a little bit of money into it, but it can definitely be worth it. The third is to get a job on the side. Now, being an entrepreneur isn't for everyone. Not everyone wants to go out and create their own job, but there are a lot of jobs that already exist that you could have. Whether it's getting a part-time job out of the home, aside from your regular 9 to 5, or whether it's working at home. Now, there are scams out there, so be careful, but there are lots of legitimate work-at-home companies these days. Now, I'm not going to go through all the legitimate work-from-home jobs, but I do want to highlight one that has really caught my attention and is one that I would want to do if I didn't already have my blog business. It's VIP Kid, and it's teaching English via the internet to children in China. Besides an internet connection, you also need to have a bachelor's degree and some experience with kids, whether it's teaching kids at church, coaching a team, teaching school, homeschooling, babysitting, whatever it is. You need some experience with kids and a bachelor's degree in any field. I'll put a link down below so you can get more information. Now, the fourth way to increase your income to help pay off debt is to ask for overtime and a raise. Now, if you're lucky enough to work for a job that has overtime, make it known to everyone, your coworkers, whoever, that you are willing to work overtime, that you want their extra shifts if they are going out of town or if they're sick. Racking up overtime, especially if it's time and a half or double time, really can increase the income that you have to pay off debt with. Funnel all that extra income toward your debt and you'll be making great progress. Assuming that you're a hard worker, easy to get along with, you go above and beyond, you help the company by sharing innovative ideas and sharing ways that they can save money, just really show that you're all in the company. Don't be afraid to ask for a raise. You might be surprised how willing they are to compensate good employees. Don't wait for them to offer it though. Go and ask. The worst they could say is no, and if they do say no, then ask what it is that you need to do to be valuable enough to merit a raise. And the fifth way that I want to share with you is to consider a job change. I know that sounds extreme, but it can be so worth it. I wish we had looked at this one earlier, because when my husband changed jobs, not only did our income increase, but we had better health insurance benefits, we had better retirement, just everything all around was better when we changed jobs. It's easy to feel just stuck in the job you're in, but you don't have to be. Look around, see what else is out there. When you're comparing your current job with the potential jobs, be sure to take into consideration the insurance, the other benefits, the driving, the commute. Take into consideration everything when you're comparing, so it's closer to apples. But don't dismiss the possibility of a job change or even a career change. Okay, I promised I would share with you a resource to help you if you're just getting started paying off your debt. I put together a 7-day email course that walks you through the steps of figuring out how much debt you actually have, deciding how you're going to make a plan to pay that. I just walked through the steps that we went through as we paid off our debt. It's completely free and includes some printables to help you get organized. You can find it at sixfiguresunder.com/smashdebt. I'll put a link below to make it easier. I would love to hear what you are doing to help increase your income to pay off your debt. What you're planning to do or what you have done. I would love to hear your ideas down in the comments. If you want to see more videos about increasing income and reducing expenses to help pay off debt, give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe. I will be sharing more frugal inspiration and financial motivation. Until next time.